Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, the first upload of 2021. I hope y'all had lovely, relaxed holidays and that you got some time to recharge, and that 2021 will be kinder to all of us than the last year was. But speaking of the holidays, that's pretty much why we're here tackling this particular art supply, because my husband got me some paints I've been wanting to try as a Christmas gift. And if you heard a weird floppy noise in the background, that was Eden shaking, so just to let you know. Yeah, but this is the Shinhan Professional Watercolor Set, and spoiler alert, I love them. Before we get into the paints, I just want to point out two things real quick. First, yes, my palette does have the most jank makeshift hot glue wells because it was the only cheap palette I could find at Hobby Lobby, and it didn't have enough wells for all the paints, so I had to make it work somehow. And you know what? It does work a lot better than I expected actually, so like, come at me all you want, but I have no regrets. Second thing is I did mess up while swatching these and didn't realize there are two shades of permanent yellow. I accidentally put the second permanent yellow under Jaune Brilliant. I wasn't about to redo the whole thing, so I just tried to make the two permanent yellows into a gradient under one swatch, and just made a small Jaune Brilliant blob where it's supposed to go, so yeah. Anyhow, this is a set of 30 tubes, and since I opened this at Christmas, I do not have unboxing footage, but they come in just your basic box, nothing special. But one thing I did notice about the packaging that I really like is that each tube comes with a handy little light fastness rating actually printed on the front of the tube. These range from 1 star, which I'm assuming is the least light fast, to 3 stars, which I'm pretty sure is most light fast, and most of them are in the 2 to 3 star rating. There's only one that is a 1 star as far as I know, and that's Opera, which is the bright pink, and I wasn't really surprised to see that because it seems to be a running thing with watercolor that these hot pinks tend to not be very light fast. I don't know what's up with that. But yes, these colors are probably some of the most saturated, if not the most saturated watercolors I have in my humble collection at this point in time, and I am in love with how pigmented they are and just the range of colors that come in this set. This footage definitely doesn't do these boys justice. They are gorgeous, and I'm so looking forward to using them in more pieces. So, on to today's piece. This is just a small, simple little test piece I did to try and get a feel for these paints. This is a new sketchbook I got from Hobby Lobby at the same time I got the palette for these watercolors, and yes, it was an impulse buy because I love buying sketchbooks. This paper definitely is not at all friendly to watercolor. It is quite waxy, so the paints can't soak in very well, which is something I didn't realize until I actually jumped in. So this isn't the best showcase for these paints, but it is the first time I used them, so I wanted to just show you guys regardless. But yeah, the sketchbook was really cheap, and it's also fairly small at about 8 inches by 5.5 inches. However, it does lay flat, so you can make the most of what space it has. And this is just like a regular, I guess, Hobby Lobby brand of sketchbook. It doesn't really have a name on it or anything, so yeah. Even though it was really cheap and not the best quality, I'm actually really having a lot of fun with this sketchbook, and I've been using it a lot over the past week or so. As much as I love my ELO sketchbooks, using the smaller one made me realize that the fact that the ELO sketchbooks are so big was actually super intimidating to me, because if I want to sit down and fill a spread in it, I mean, it's a commitment. It's gonna take some time. I kept finding that I just wasn't sure what to do with all the space and how to lay out sketches in a nice way, but with this little sketchbook, there's a lot less pressure since there's less space to fill, and I'm also not afraid to mess it up because it was so cheap. So yeah, I've been doing a crap ton of experimenting in this little guy as far as combining mediums and figuring out ways to spice up my sketch spreads, and it's been a lot of fun and super liberating. On that note, shameless self-promo time. I have been posting spreads from this sketchbook as well as a butt ton of other work on my Instagram, which will be linked down below if you want to check it out and keep up with what I'm working on between videos. Okay, way off topic, now let's talk about the piece. Honestly guys, I have no idea what the heck is going on with this piece. As I often do on my days off, I had been listening to scary stories and the lore podcast all day long, so I was definitely in the mood to draw something creepy, and that's how we got the zombie guy. As for the dog, I don't know. I really don't. I just felt like the zombie dude needed to be squishing some dog cheeks, so here we have it, zombie guy rising from a graveyard to squish some dog cheeks. Who wouldn't rise from the grave for that? Since zombies and dogs don't tend to be very vibrant, I decided to go with minimal color for them and just do shading on them and made the background my focus for the bright colors. Like I said, it's a very simple piece, but I really enjoyed making it and using these pretty colors with this weird subject matter. The more I worked on this, the more I started to feel like perhaps the zombie guy is actually a recently deceased soul that looks this way because they were very worn down and twisted by life, but when they died, they were met by their old dog, who is just as I remember them because, you know, dogs are freaking perfect no matter what. So, I don't know, just a simple, sappy little story to go along with the spread. Take it or leave it, or just, you know, comment with your own idea of what's happening here because I don't know. Alright, so another thing I wanted to ramble about today is that now that I'm putting out less videos per month, I'm trying to experiment a little more with the editing. Usually I do a time lapse with little to no footage cuts and it's just a constant top-down view. With this video I tried something a little different, which is not filming every little thing and putting in some jumps in the process. I also tried varying the camera angles to add some more visual interest. I'm not sure how you guys feel about jumps in footage. Personally, I liked not filming every part of the process because it cuts down on the file sizes when I moved these clips off my phone. And also it's just entertaining somehow for me to find new interesting angles for filming. It's a little bit more effort because I have to pause the art process to move my phone around, but I think it's worth it personally. So let me know what you think and if you prefer the style to just a straight run through time lapse, or if you're fine either way. I'm just curious to see. But yes, even though this paper is definitely not watercolor paper, I gotta say I was really digging the texture the paint would leave as it dried. The edges dry a lot more patchy than on actual watercolor paper, which I thought was pretty darn cool. The watercolors also layer pretty well, so I was able to get some varying shades when I added the color to the zombie and the dog. One thing that did make me a little sad though was that the colors didn't appear as vibrant here as they did on the swatch paper. However, I did use these paints again in another spread and got them to show up pretty saturated there, so I'm going to chalk this one up to user error. Even so, it was really nice just chilling and experimenting with this first spread in my new sketchbook, and I like how this little piece turned out. Like I said, I'm loving these paints so far, and I want to do some bigger, more detailed pieces with them, so we'll see where we end up in the near future with this set. I'm excited to put them through their paces on paper that's actually meant for them. Anywho, I'm gonna sign off here. Remember to check out my Instagram, as one thing I forgot to mention earlier is that I am taking requests over there. I'm trying to fill out some of my pages in the sketchbook with other people's original characters. So you can find out the details in my pinned story over on Instagram, which the link will be down below, like I said. So yeah, hit me up over there. Hope you guys enjoyed this chill video, and if you did, likes, comments, and subs are always very much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.